welcome everyone. Welcome to our CapU University Wellness class, yoga break, therapeutic yoga break. So we're going to be working with the neck and shoulders, upper back. Primarily, we're going to do some lower back and hip flexor quad work today as well. We're going to work with a chair. I've got a mat on the chair. You could have an additional mat here if you want. I like to have the freedom of moving around space to work with all of you. So just finding your Tadasana. Inhale, bringing the arms up. And I want you to visualize that radiant sun that we're seeing in the sky, which is a very nice change. And I want you to imagine that the center of the sun is at your heart and the radiance is all around you as you inhale and exhale. Finding that breath, Ujjayi Pranayama, that warming breath. I'm bending my knees as I exhale. I'm straightening as I inhale, and I'm looking up. And this helps work with flossing of the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And then you can do this as your one practice every day when you first get up, if you like. Visualize the sun and feel that radiance all around you. We're going to add what's called Brahmari humming breath on the exhale. Just notice how adding sound lengthens the exhale. Do this in your own time. It doesn't have to be with me. Adding sound is regulating for the nervous system. We also know this from science. Adding om if you like, or hum. Two more times. Feel that radiance all around you. One more time, sweeping through the radiance as you inhale and exhale. Hands at the heart. Okay, so we're going to move into some warrior work. So I'm going to use the chair today for forward bends. You don't have to use the chair, but it's an option that I'd like you to know about, especially if you have any heart issues. Sometimes it's contraindicated to bring the head lower than the heart, so you can come to your forward bend like this. You could bend your front knee. You've got blocks on top of your chair that you bring your head to, or if you bring your head down like this, your head is lower than your heart, and you're basically in the classical pose, but with that support of the head on the seat of the chair, you get more length in the spine, and it can feel really good on the lower back. So I really love doing this. When I remember to do it, it's like, oh, I can do the classical. So classical is like this, but this feels really good. So make sure there's room around you to move your arms. I've got my left foot forward. You can use the other side if you like. Inhale, arms coming up. And exhale, forward bend. And I'm going to adjust my feet so that my forehead is on the seat of the chair. Inhale. Now this time I'm going to bend my front knee. I'm going to do a warrior one. And if you like, you can bring your shin to the seat of the chair And that can help with you with your alignment. And then exhale. See just how I adjust this. And I like to have the mat on the chair, just makes it a little softer. We're going to work on some up dog, down dog using the chair. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to add that sound using the humming breath. Just keep this going your own timing. Any speed that's comfortable. Bending the knee as I inhale and straightening as I exhale. Now just stay here. Your hands can be on the ground or on the chair. As you inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen the spine, and exhale, coming forward. Up, exhale, forward. Just keep that going. I'm just going to make sure no one's trying to get in. Good. And when you're ready, I want you to step back and you're going to do a downward facing dog at the chair. So this is one of my favorite poses for the upper back and neck and shoulders that I haven't shown you yet. Inhale, look up. And exhale, look down and bend the knees. And I want you to try to decompress that lower back. And if you're like me and you're tight in your neck and shoulders, you'll probably feel it more there. If you're tight in your lower back, you'll feel it there. Inhale, look up, and exhale, down. Now, hopefully this is not hurting your wrists. One of you mentioned wanting to work with the wrists a bit. So hopefully this is not bothering your wrists. Stretching the whole back from the upper to the lower back and into the legs. Then we're going to do the other side. Bring the other foot forward. Find your warrior pose. Turn the back foot out. Inhale, radiating like the sun. And exhale, forward bend. Straightening the front leg. Now you can adjust the width of how wide the feet are apart according to your hip width. So it's really to comfort. If you're tighter in that back leg, you're going to feel it a bit more in the calf. Warrior one, Tadasana. Exhale, Parshva Uttanasana. Doing that about 3 to 4 times. You're going to place your hands on the chair and inhale, arch the back up. Keeping the legs straight if you can. Exhale, forward. Just see if you can get a bit deeper into the stretch of the front leg. So having the chair, because it helps you keep your back longer, you might feel a deeper stretch than when you don't use the chair. So just notice that. This helps you. You can use this in my classes every week if you like. And one more, and that 3 to 4 times. And then Stepping back into your chair down dog. Inhale, arching up, looking forward. Exhale, bend the knees and decompress the spine. And come back, and you might feel stretch under the armpits. So this is my modification for upward facing dog and downward facing dog, which if you have wrist problems will be difficult for you to do on the floor. Of course, you can do this on the floor. Now you can keep that going, or if it's accessible to you, find your plank pose by using the chair. So inhale here and exhale back. Inhale, come up on the toes, tuck the tail under, come forward, align your wrists and shoulders. And exhale back. Can you do this with comfort? If not, just do the previous pose, lifting the chest rather than coming all the way forward. Now the next step is inhale, coming forward. You might need to step forward a little bit and try to bring the chest through, lift away from the chair, tuck your tail under, bring your hips through. That's your inhale, exhale back. Inhale on the toes, tuck the tail under, bring the chest through, lift away from the chair. It's really important to do that piece. Shoulders back, exhale, chin in, come back. Doing that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And just release the hands and stay in this forward bend position, perhaps coming to the floor, staying in your forward bend. And just rest here, whatever position you've chosen. If you're doing the full forward bend, try to bring the rib cage forward on your thighs to lengthen the lower back and come forward. Decompress the whole spine by going into this semi-inversion. Again, if you've got blood pressure issues, staying into the chair version, keeping the head higher than the heart. When you're ready, coming out of it. Again, I'm just going to make sure we're just not trying to get in. We're okay. All right, good. So moving on to our next set of poses. So I had a request for working with the hips and the thighs, and this chair is a fantastic way to do that. You might want to grab a pillow or a cushion or a prop to put under the knee, because this can be a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm just going to angle the camera down so you can see the floor a bit better. There you go. So bringing one leg forward and the other one back, I want you to place that back knee down on the cushion. Or you don't have to use a cushion, but this is a nice option for most of us. And I want you to go into a lunge here. And can you add the arms? Inhale up. Exhale, release down. We've been doing this with a table in previous weeks. This is with a chair. Inhale here, exhale forward. And again, I've got my shin pressing into the seat of the chair. The chair is pressing into the wall. And I've got a blanket on the back of the chair just to protect my wall. In case you don't want your paint to be coming off when you do yoga, that's a good method. And just feel that stretch. You might be able to bring that back leg a little further back now. Feel that stretch into the hip flexor. And just for fun, we're just going to come back a little bit further. So I've got the advantage of not having a mat here, so I'm able to slide easily. But can you stretch your front leg? It's also a bit of a balance pose. Do the best you can. You can also bring your hands down. Having the hands on the chair helps keep your spine long, lengthening the spine. You can move a little bit with that if you prefer. Inhale up, exhale down, or just stay. And coming forward, and a little tricky, but can you tuck your back toe under, step forward without bumping into that cushion. Take a little forward bend here, rest for a minute. Lengthen through the spine. So I had my right foot back and then I'll bring my left, but do the opposite, whatever you just did. It's nice to start with your easy side and then move to your hard side because that opens things up for you neurologically. So come in close enough so that your shin is at the seat of the chair to begin with. And just feeling into how much you want to stretch. I untuck my back toes because I prefer that. Some people like having the toes tucked under, whatever works for you. So inhale here and exhale, release. You can add on more complexity by adding on the arms. So this is much harder. Or leave the hands on the seat of the chair. Ekapada Rajagopattasana, half peacock pose. Or, sorry, actually that's wrong. Half camel pose, Rajagopattasana. So remembering, yes, it's the camel. This is half camel. It's kind of a funny way of thinking about this pose, that it's half of a full camel, but this back arch is half of a camel. That big back arch that you might have seen when you're on your knees and you bring your hands to your heels. That's the full pose. Ekapada Ustrasana, half camel, or Ekapada Rajagopattasana, half peacock. So it's both actually, I'm remembering. You can bring that back knee further back and stretch further into that hip flexor. And if you like, adding the stretch of the front leg. Trying to keep your hips even as you do this. You can inhale up, exhale down, or just stay now in the pose. I'm flexing my front toes to increase my calf stretch. Preparing you all for a good walk. It's a beautiful sunny day, so if you can manage, take one of your meetings outside or just take a break. I really like listening to audiobooks as I walk every day, as a way to get in reading while moving. So these are some of the things that we can do to try to bring more movement into our lives and still work on educating ourselves. When you're ready, inhale back to your lunge, and then can you tuck those toes under? And this time, can you step back? A little tough, but can you step back, remove that cushion, and relax the back? And we're going to end with this. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down. Bending knees. This should feel easier than it did the first time. And if you want, we can add our spinal stretch holding back of the chair. Move the hips side to side. So some of you who have done group classes with me will know this one. It's a great way to get into the side body. Stretch whole side of the torso from the armpit down to the hip, down to the leg. And you're ready, coming out of it. Say bye to our chair. Coming to the center, we're just going to work with those wrists and a little bit of balance. So you're going to do this. We haven't done this term. So you're going to inhale. You're going to bring your thumb up your finger. Exhale, bring your finger down your thumb and flick. This is a traditional practice, nyasam, done for counting, chanting, or breathing. Inhale, I use this in my pranayama practice. Inhale, thumb up the finger, exhale, finger down the thumb. At the end, flick. Next finger, inhale, up the finger, exhale, finger down the thumb, flick. Last one, inhale, thumb up the little finger, exhale, finger down, and flick. We're almost out of time, but we're going to try to do one round of that and do this as homework. If this is too much, just press your finger as we inhale and exhale each finger, okay? So let's try. This is for the upper back, neck and shoulders, as well as the wrists and the hands. We're going to add coming onto our toes. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Full Tadasana and flick. This is a practice you can do all by itself anytime. Inhale, coming up. Press, press, press really hard into your other finger. Exhale, finger coming down the thumb. And flick. Next finger, inhale, thumb up. Ring finger. Exhale, finger down the thumb. Flick. Last one, thumb up, the little finger. Exhale, finger down the thumb. Flick. And Shanti, peace together. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace 3 times. Peace, peace, peace.